Have you ever had a moment where your intuition wasn't whispering, it was screaming at you? Not nudging, not hinting, screaming. A moment where everything in your body said something was wrong, but Christmas made you ignore it? Because what if I told you my husband spent $3,000 on a diamond necklace and gave me a toaster instead? And what if I told you the woman wearing that necklace was already inside my house? Stay with me, because this Christmas dinner didn't just expose cheating, it detonated an entire family. Let me ask you something before I take you into this story. Have you ever ignored your gut because the timing felt inconvenient? Because that's exactly where I was. 1 week before Christmas. The tree was already up, the lights were glowing, flights were booked, the family was coming, and I didn't want to be the woman who ruined Christmas. I was in our bedroom folding laundry when it happened. Not snooping, not searching, just doing something painfully normal. I picked up his winter boots to put them away. Heavy boots he barely wore. Boots that felt off. When I tipped one over, something slid out. A folded piece of paper. Crisp, deliberate. A receipt. I remember the exact moment my stomach dropped, because before my brain could protect me, my eyes already knew. $3,000, diamond necklace. Purchased 2 days earlier. I stood there frozen, heart racing, hands shaking, and immediately my mind rushed in to save me. It's for me. He's surprising me. Stop being dramatic. Because Christmas does that. To you, it convinces you that hope is more logical than truth. So I folded the receipt back exactly how I found it, slid it back into the boot, and told myself to trust the magic. I smiled through the week, wrapped gifts, baked cookies. I played carols. Every time he left the room, I imagined him hiding the necklace. Every time he kissed my forehead, I told myself this was worth the wait. Christmas morning arrived. The house smelled like cinnamon and pine. His family filled the living room. Bones were out. Laughter was loud. The tree lights blinked like they knew something I didn't get in. Then it was time for gifts. My heart was pounding. This was it. This was the moment that would prove I was wrong. He handed me my present, a medium-sized box, plain wrapping paper. I remember thinking, okay, maybe it's inside another box. I opened it slowly, carefully. Inside was a kitchen appliance, not even a fancy one. The kind you grab at the last minute because you forgot. The room went quiet, not awkward silent, wrong silent. Smiled anyway, because that's what women are trained to do. He laughed too loudly, made a joke about practicality, never met my eyes. Something cracked in my chest, and then the doorbell rang. Everyone turned. Cold air rushed in as the door opened, and there she was, his work colleague. The one I'd heard about too often, the one I was told not to worry about. She smiled like she belonged there, apologized for the snow, stepped inside, then she removed her scarf. That's when the diamond caught the light. I didn't need a closer look. I didn't need confirmation. I recognized the cut, the setting, the exact sparkle I'd memorized from that receipt. My necklace. The room felt like it tilted. My ears rang. My body went cold. Suddenly, everything made sense. The receipt, the toaster, the distance. She laughed. He stiffened. And Christmas kept going like nothing had happened. And here's the part people never expect. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't confront anyone. Because sometimes revenge doesn't arrive with chaos. Sometimes it arrives with patience. And I had just decided how this Christmas was going to end. Because the woman wearing my necklace was about to sit at my table. That I was about to serve her more than dinner. Let me ask you something. Do you think it's possible to hate someone while smiling directly in their face? Because that's exactly what I did. I stepped aside and let her walk into my house. My house, the one I decorated. The one I cleaned for Christmas. She says she had nowhere else to go for the holidays. She said it softly, almost apologetically. My husband didn't hesitate, not even a second. He backed her story immediately. That's when I knew this wasn't new. This wasn't a mistake. This was practiced. I offered her wine, the expensive bottle we were saving. I poured it myself. My hand didn't shake. My voice didn't crack. That scared me more than anything. She thanked me, touched my arm, smiled like she was grateful. And every time she moved, that necklace caught the light. Every sparkle felt deliberate, like it was daring me to say something. His mother adored her instantly, called her sweet, said she had such good energy. I watched my husband relax once he realized I wasn't exploding. That's when he made his first mistake. He underestimated me. Dinner prep started, and the kitchen became my battlefield. I chopped vegetables while they whispered in the corner. I set the table while watching reflections in the window. I noticed everything. The way he refilled her glass before mine. The way her knee brushed his under the counter. The way guilt sat heavy on his shoulders. And still, I smiled. I laughed. I played the role. Because confrontation is loud, revenge is quiet. She complimented the house, said it felt warm, said Christmas here felt special. I almost laughed at one point. She reached up and adjusted the necklace. Casual, confidence, said nothing, but inside, something locked into place. That was the moment I stopped feeling hurt and started feeling clear. The turkey went into the oven, golden skin, perfect timing. I remember thinking how ironic it was. Everything looked so right, and nothing actually was. We finally sat down at the table, candles lit, plates full, and that's when I decided something important. I wasn't going to confront them privately. I wasn't going to cry in the bedroom. I wasn't going to beg for honesty. If the truth was coming out, it was coming out in front of everyone. I raised my glass slightly, not enough to toast, just enough to test the air. My husband noticed. His jaw tightened. The mistress avoided my eyes. She suddenly looked uncomfortable, like she sensed the temperature changing. Good, but because the first crack had already formed, and Christmas dinner was about to split wide open. But I haven't exposed them yet. I waited until the turkey was carved and everyone was trapped at the table. Let me ask you something before we go any further. If you had a grenade in your hand, would you throw it immediately, or would you place it gently on the table and let everyone stare at it first? Because that's exactly what I did. Dinner had officially started. The plates were full. Silverware clinked. The turkey was carved perfectly. Juicy, golden. Everything looked like a picture-perfect Christmas dinner. That's what made it unbearable. Conversation floated around the table, whether travel plans, work stories. Normal things, safe things. I barely tasted my food. Every bite felt heavy, like I was swallowing lies. My husband wouldn't look at me. Not once. He kept his eyes on his plate like it could protect him. The woman sitting across from me laughed too loudly. She talked too much. People always do it when they're nervous. That necklace rested right above her collarbone. Scented confidence. It caught the candlelight every few seconds. Each flash felt like a countdown. I watched his mother compliment the food, watched his sister scroll on her phone, watched the room exist in complete ignorance, and I realized something important at that moment. If I stood up and screamed, they'd blame emotion. If I cried, they'd call me unstable. So I didn't. I waited. Halfway through the meal, I slowly placed my fork down. The sound was quiet, but my husband noticed. I picked up my champagne glass. Not dramatically, not rushed, just enough to get attention. I want to say something, I said calmly. The table went still. Smiles appeared. Phones lifted again. They thought it was a sweet moment, a Christmas toast, a loving gesture. My husband finally looked at me, and I watched the exact second fear enter his eyes. I smiled back. I just want to say how grateful I am, I continued, for family, for honesty, for loyalty. The word loyalty hung in the air a little too long. His mother nodded approvingly. Someone murmured, "Oh." I took a slow sip, let the silence stretch. You know, I added, Christmas always makes you reflect on what belongs to you and what doesn't. That's when the room shifted. The woman across from me stopped chewing. Her fork froze halfway to her mouth. My husband swallowed hard. I kept going. It's funny how shiny things can blind people, I said lightly. How easy it is to take something that isn't meant for you. A few people laughed awkwardly. They thought it was a joke. It wasn't. I looked directly at her necklace, didn't hide it, didn't rush it. She followed my gaze. Her hand instinctively went to her chest, just for a second, but it was enough. I smiled again. And sometimes, I said, tapping my glass gently with my spoon, the truth deserves more than just words. Everyone leaned in. Curiosity activated. No one looked away now. I actually prepared something special for tonight, I said. Instead of a toast, My husband's chair scraped slightly as he shifted. Too fast, too obvious. What do you mean? His sister asked. I stood up slowly, deliberately. I think it's better if I show you, I said, and then I turned toward the living room. That was the moment panic hit his face fully. Not confusion, not surprising, recognition. He knew. I walked calmly across the room. Each step felt surreal, like I was floating. I reached the TV stand, picked up the remote, picked up my phone. Behind me, the table whispered, soft confusion, uneasy laughter. Is everything okay? His mother asked. I didn't answer. My phone connected to the TV with a soft chime. The screen flickered blue. That sound alone silenced the entire house. I turned back toward them, met my husband's eyes, and for the first time all night he spoke. Please, he said quietly. That one word confirmed everything. I smiled gently. This won't take long, I replied. The screen changed, and Christmas dinner officially ended, because what appeared on that screen didn't just expose an affair, it revealed who paid for it. Let me ask you something before I continue. Do you believe the truth sets you free? Or does it just burn everything to the ground? Because I learned that night it does both. The TV screen glowed softly at first, a blank blue input screen, silent. That silence was louder than any argument. Everyone at the table leaned forward slightly, confused, curious. They still thought this was harmless, a slideshow, a joke. My husband stood halfway out of his chair, like he wasn't sure whether to sit or run. I clicked once. The screen changed. A text message thread appeared. Names removed. Dates visible. No emojis. No flirting at first. Just logistics room booked. Same place as last time. Use the side entrance. The room stopped breathing. Someone cleared their throat. No one laughed. I scrolled slowly, not dramatically, not angrily, methodically. Messages stacked on top of each other. Weeks, months, then photos appeared. Nothing graphic, nothing explicit, just undeniable Hotamura's reflections. Two familiar silhouettes. The woman across from me gasped. Her hand flew to her mouth. My husband finally sat back down hard, like his legs gave out. Oh my God, someone whispered. I didn't look at anyone. I kept my eyes on the screen, because I knew if I looked at them, I might feel something, and I couldn't afford that yet. I scrolled again. Receipts appeared next. Hotel confirmations, restaurant bills, gift purchases, and then the necklace. Exact receipt I'd found in the boot. Date, time, amount. The room erupted. What is this? His sister demanded. Is this real? My husband opened his mouth. I closed it. I tried again. I can't explain, he said. I finally turned around. No, I replied calmly. You can't. That's when his mother stood up. Her face had gone pale. Not angry yet, just confused. She stepped closer to the screen, squinted slightly. Then her confusion turned into recognition. No, she said softly, almost to herself. She pointed at the screen. But that account number, it's mine. The room collapsed into chaos. What do you mean it's yours? Someone asked. She turned toward her son slowly. Her voice is shaking now. That's my retirement account, she said, the one I gave you access to for emergencies. The woman across the table started crying immediately. Real tears this time, messy. I didn't know, she said quickly. I swear I didn't know. My husband stood up abruptly. Ma, please, he said. I was going to pay it back. Pay it back, she screamed. Her voice cracked through the room like glass. You used my money to cheat on your wife, on Christmas. She started sobbing. His sister shouted. Someone else yelled his name. The mistress tried to explain. I tried to apologize. Tried to shift blame. But no one was listening anymore. I stepped away from the TV. Let them implode without me, because my part was done. I watched my husband reach for me. Not aggressively, desperately, please. He said again. We can talk. I shook my head. There's nothing left to say, I replied. He looked smaller then. Not scary. Not powerful. Just exposed. I grabbed my coat from the hallway. Slowly, calmly. No one tried to stop me. As I reached the door, his mother spoke again. Her voice was broken. I'm so sorry, she said. I didn't know. I paused. Just for a second. I know, I said quietly. Then I opened the door. Cold air rushed in. Snow fell softly. The house behind me was loud with blame and regret, and for the first time that night, I smiled, because I wasn't walking away in defeat. I was walking away free. But here's what nobody expects. The real revenge didn't happen that night. Let me ask you one last question. What does freedom actually feel like? Because I didn't feel angry when I stepped outside. I didn't feel broken. I felt light. The snow was falling quietly, soft, almost peaceful. Behind me, the house was chaotic, raised voices, crying, blame being passed like a hot plate. I didn't turn around. I walked on the driveway slowly. Cold air fills my lungs. Each breath felt cleaner than the last. For the first time in months, my chest didn't feel tight. For the first time in years, I wasn't guessing. I knew the truth. That night, I didn't go to a friend's house. I didn't go to a hotel. I went somewhere unexpected. I drove to a quiet overlook outside town, sat in my car. I watched the snow collect on the windshield, and I cried. Not loudly, not dramatically, just enough to let it leave. The next morning, my phone was full of messages, missed calls, apologies, excuses. I didn't answer. Over the next few weeks, the fallout was brutal. His family turned on him. The affair partner disappeared completely. He tried to talk. I tried to explain. I tried to rewrite history. I let him speak once, just once, and then I said something he wasn't prepared for. I'm not angry. I told him, I'm done. That terrified him more than yelling ever could. 3 months later, the divorce papers were signed. Clean, quiet. I sold the house. The one filled with fake memories. The one that held that dinner table. And here's the twist nobody saw coming. I kept the necklace, not to wear it, not to sell it. I donated it, quietly, anonymously, because I didn't want a reminder of betrayal around my neck. I wanted it gone from my life completely. The money went to a women's shelter, a place that helps people start over, just like I did. Last I heard, he moved into a small apartment, lost the respect of his family, lost the illusion that he was in control, and me. I sleep peacefully now. I trust my intuition. I will never ignore that warning siren again, because revenge isn't screaming. It isn't destruction. Sometimes revenge is clarity. Sometimes it's walking away without looking back. And sometimes it's serving the truth ice cold on Christmas. If this story made you feel something, hit like. If you believe intuition is never wrong, subscribe and comment below. Would you have exposed everything at the table, or would you have walked away sooner? Your answer might help someone else choose freedom.